Welcome to another show with the Four Elements United. Tonight, I am your host, and I'm Water.
I'm Earth.
I'm Win.
I'm Fire with the retainer.
Nice with the retainer. All right, good. So tonight we're gonna have a good show. You all know that I have stated many a times in the past about hobbies, and tonight that's what we're going to talk about. I'm a big believer in it. I'm a big proponent of it, and I think that we are going to have a powerful show tonight. So I want to start with the elements. See, these guys, they like to host and they like to get on and talk for like 12 minutes straight, and then by that time, we're all sleepy. Tonight, guys, I'm going to start with you three. And we're going to start with wind and fire because I already know Earth is big into this. So, Earth, fire, what kind of hobbies you guys got, man?
Wind, fire.
I mean, wind, fire.
It doesn't matter. I mean, both of you are like slow to the draw. So, talk about your hobbies that you guys have.
Go ahead, fire.
Oh,
I'll pass. Hey, wind's like I'll pass. Fire's like I'll pass.
You're not really going to buy yourself much time because my list of hobbies are real short, bro. So I hope you're ready to go. You know what's bad, guys? Is I thought about this before the call. I said, "What is Water going to ask?" And if I know Water, he's going to put us non-hobby having folks in the hot seat, and that's what he did. And guess what? My list is still like two. Like everybody knows, I love football. So I would consider football to be a hobby. What's crazy is to be specific is not watching football or fantasy football or betting on football. It really is coaching and the technical side of football that intrigues me. And then the business side of football, so salary caps, the NIL stuff that my sons are now, going to be a part of in the near future. So that's important. Also, I like to hike. And I also love movies. So I'm a movie guy, hike guy, football guy. I love to travel. Don't travel that much. That's pretty much it, man. I have a very boring life. And inside of asking myself this question, I really realize how fulfilling and yet boring my life is because there aren't many areas in my life that are uniquely and specifically for me. So I'll pause right there. Hopefully I gave my brother enough time to at least muster up three things that he likes to do outside of work. Go ahead, man.
Well, I know you guys can't imagine this, but when I was younger, I was an avid runner and an avid cyclist. I worked out a lot. And even before, when I was real young, I used to enjoy video games with friends. But now that I'm older, it's interesting, adults don't really have hobbies like they used to, like, back in the day as kids. Or they have different hobbies like chess and, stuff like that. But now to be honest, I enjoy being outside. I enjoy photography actually. I don't have a professional camera, but I enjoy taking pictures of beautiful sunrises and beautiful sunsets. I like taking pictures of beautiful architecture and the water, interesting people. Um, I enjoy walking, different places. Um, and I enjoy the game of business. Most people don't see that as a hobby, but, you know, in some sense, I enjoy that. I see it as a hobby, as an adult game. And I'll pause right there.
So, so did you just call Water and I kids?
Because I said adult games.
Oh man.
No. So as an adult, like cycling is a hobby. snowboarding, skiing, camping, fishing. All those are still adult.
I got it, bro. You think they were kids? That's all right. That's all right. And we will graciously take that.
And even some grown men still play video games. They play chess and different board games. Oh, I do enjoy playing board games. I have company and and pull out the Monopoly, pull out the cash flow quadrant, pull out some talking games. I enjoy all that.
Yeah, looking at stock charts, we got it, bro. Like that's definitely a relieving hobby. Leisure activity right there, man. We got it.
So for all of you who are on adult kickball and dodgeball teams, you're juvenile. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, you play you go shoot hoops. You go shoot hoops with the fellas, man. Like, yeah.
Man, I would love to have you guys with a game of a dodgeball. Matter of fact, I missed the joint that we were supposed to go paintball, and I missed that joint. I would love to shoot you guys.
Yeah, well, I would set that up like I set the snowboard trip up, but we already know who's going to be there and who's not. So we're not going to name names, right, Earth?
No, we're not
going to name
names. I mean, water. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to name names. Earth. Let's talk about your hobbies, man. Earth is a. I'll go last, but Earth is a textbook adult kid, as Wynn pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, like you all know, we went on a snowboarding trip a week ago, or so, a little bit over a week ago now. Road cycling, mountain biking is the joint. I'm telling you, if you have a mountain bike, you need to get out on a mountain bike. That's like the lick. Rock climbing. I actually like trail running. I like the challenge. Trail running is a challenge to me. Anything that's challenging, it gets me to think, because the terrain constantly changes. And those of you who do trail running, you know what I mean. So I like trail running, paintballing. When you said paintball, I need to get back into paintball. I have a gun. I was like, man, let me run and get my gun. So yeah, I have all the paintball equipment. So I like paintballing. And so that's anything for me that gives me an opportunity to be outdoors, to be in the sun. I love being in the sun, and to have me to think and do something strategic, because believe it or not, there's thinking that goes into snowboarding. It's especially as water loves moguls. I'm not a fan of moguls, just for me, but moguls, it's like a puzzle, and that's the cool part about moguls. It's like a puzzle. And so he likes moguls. So like for me, anything that has me to think and that's strategic, like putting the pieces of a puzzle together, something like that. Even with paintballing, if you're on a good paintball team and you go, there's a lot of strategy behind paintballing. You don't just get out there and just start shooting. You'll get shot quickly if you do that. So those are the things I enjoy, like outdoors. What's interesting? I just got into like raising chickens. So I have chickens, and they start producing eggs, and it's cool. I never thought that would be something that I would be into, but I just got a male. Actually have more females than males, and they started laying eggs, and that's pretty cool. So I'm getting into that. Now, like developing software has become a hobby. It used to be a career, but it's not anymore. I still enjoy doing that. So those are some. I keep going on and on, but those are some of the things that I really enjoy doing, and primarily things that. Now I'm into gardening, so I have a garden in the backyard, and I have my kale that's starting to grow. I have this big thing of kale that's out there now. My other things I'm growing out, they're starting to grow, spring up. So yeah, so gardening is something else I like, and I can just keep going on and on and on and on and on. So those are some of the things I enjoy, basically. Is that adult? Is that kind of, am I in the ballpark of being an adult? Maybe.
You are still the elder of the group.
Digging up the yard to plant the garden I enjoyed that. Like measuring out the square footage and digging it up, and planting the seeds. It was actually a lot of fun. It was work, because I just had a shovel and and it's like an African hoe, if you all have ever seen those before. Had one of those. And I'm just digging up the yard for the garden. So that was actually a lot of fun to do that. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much more time. What you got?
I love it. I love it. So this guy, as you can see, is the poster child for hobbies. And as you can see, the elements, we're a motley crew, right? We have our mixture of guys, and different guys do different things. For me, if I were to talk about my particular hobbies, everybody knows, if you watched the show before, snowboarding. Earth just mentioned it. That's probably right now my most addictive hobby that I'm into. It's an expensive hobby, and people don't realize that Earth is laughing. We're gonna talk about a snowboarding trip here in a minute. It's addictive and it's expensive, but it's also a workout. Like when you're working out all day and you don't even realize it. But when you really enjoy it, it's just like being a kid. And what I realized is that when I'm out there, I forget to eat. I forget to drink water. And I'm like, yo, I haven't had a sip of water in like 6 hours. What am I? And I'm out here sweating buckets. And most people don't realize, but you have all this equipment on, and then you have this inner layer that sucks up all your sweat, but you're sweating. And so it's getting soaked up and you're not drinking any water. And so I realized that. So snowboarding is one. I also am into chess. That's why Wynn mentioned chess. That's my game. And right now I'm actually training to play in chess tournaments. And what's funny is that people actually, when I tell them that, they're like, oh man, you're too old to do that. Because what's funny is that the nicest people in the tournaments are like kids. I'm talking about like 10 years old, and they are nasty. Like they will just, oh, your game's over like 5 moves or something. They're that nasty. However, it's still a cool thing to do, and most people don't know this, but you get titles in chess or whatever, and the top title you can get is Grandmaster, and so there are only 5 Black Grandmasters ever, and part of me thinks that it would be cool to actually be number 6. So we'll see if I actually get serious about that, because that's a whole journey within itself. Other hobbies, man, I used to like cooking, but as Wynn says, once I got into the hobby of business, which most of us think that's a hobby, but it's not. Once I got into that hobby, cooking just went out of the door. But I think cooking is a really fun hobby. And I think when you have skills in the kitchen, it really goes a long way. And it's fun to take a dish somewhere and say, oh yeah, I made that. And they're like, no, you didn't. Where'd you buy that? You're like, no, I made that. I used to be into gardening, but again, stuff like that takes time. And you guys remember I had my little vegetable garden. So I'm the kind of dude that I had some kale and everything, but I grew it from seeds. And just like Earth is talking about, it is so rewarding to see like this little thing start turning into something, and then all of a sudden you can eat it. It's just a cool little, even though you're not going to make enough for you to sustain yourself. It's just cool to actually do that. And it's just something to occupy your time. But we're not really occupying our time. At least that's what I think. I'm going to get back to what I think we're doing, but I don't think that it's just occupying time. And as Earth said, I have many, many other things that I enjoy doing, but probably my second favorite hobby is to frolic. And when I say frolic, I mean to do nothing, like to go to the beach and lay on the beach and just sit there like a bum, or go to the park with a picnic basket like Yogi and Boo Boo, and have my Boo Boo with me, and we're actually just sitting there looking at birds, listening to whatever. We might just sit there all day. So to me, that would be something that I'm just like, wow. Now, Fire said this, he said, you know, he thought about this show. And the reason why I wanted to do this show is because I personally think that there's some real magic that happens when someone actually gets into a thing that they're interested in, and they actually, there's no other world, there's nothing else that exists except for you in that moment. So the reason why I wanted to talk about hobbies is because I did a previous show about being in the moment and the power of that. And what I actually believe is that everyone on this planet is interested in something. Some people actually pursue those interests, and other people say, there's a lot of things. I'm too busy. Um, or that is that's just for women. Some men might say, you know, that hobby is just for women. Some women may say that's for men. You know, like, I'm just gonna make it up, right? But like, so maybe some men think that gardening is for women, and I don't know, some women may think working on cars is for men. So, you know, like those things would actually just probably discourage people from doing those things. And what I would actually gander is that we actually do that, whether it's I don't have time or you know, that's not for me. And then we have this thing that we're interested in, but we never actually pursue it. And I would argue that by not pursuing that, we're not living our full life. There's a part of our life that's missing because there's a reason that we're actually interested in this thing. So I want to get back to the elements. We all four said that there's something that we are actually interested in. When you're doing that thing, describe to the audience what it actually is, what's going on. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it look like? What does it taste like? Like, what's going on when you're actually doing that thing? And when we don't want to know what you're doing when you're you know, in the business world. We want to know what you're doing when you're down to the level of us three kids, right? Us three adolescents. We want to know what it is that what is it? Like, what's it like? Because I think that, to me, I'll set it off and say that to me, it's like nothing else exists. That's what it is for me. I can tell you that I was with Earth while we were snowboarding, but I wasn't with him because I was somewhere else. And it's almost like something else was working through me. I was connected to something else that is that I can't put words to. It's just that I know that I was connected to something else, and nothing else existed for me. How about you guys? What's it like?
When I used to run and cycle, and even today when I walk and just, you know, explore the city, you know, it's freedom. It's peace of mind. Like you give up every care in the world. You don't, you know, you're the lightest thing ever. You know, yeah. When I'm outside, like I am really attuned to the sense, you know, of outside, the noises, you know, listening to children play. Like there's nothing better in the world than to see and to listen to children playing outside, having a great time. Like there's nothing else in the world. You know, I enjoy, you know, like I said, I enjoy sunrises and sunsets. And so I enjoy, you know, listening to the birds and early in the morning and looking at the birds, looking at different birds. Um, yeah, it's just pure enjoyment. Like you leave all your cares, you push them to the side. You're not concerned about anything. So if I were to put one word to it, I would say freedom or peace.
I would add bliss, nirvana. I would echo time standing still. And what comes to mind for me is like I'm envisioning myself being on a hike, and we happen to live in one of the most beautiful places in probably North America, in Southern California, and rate. I mean, like the Santa Monica Mountains is like less than a mile from my crib. The crash site of Kobe. I just got that chilling visual, but man, nothing matters. There's not a care in the world. What I also saw in myself is that I also have and had hobbies that weren't necessarily healthy, right? Like as you guys are talking about hobbies, I'm listening to you talk about being outdoors, snowboarding. I hear Earth talk about, gardening and the process of gardening that actually exerted physical energy to do that. And on top of using his mind to plot it all out, measure it all out and things of that nature, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey and bourbon was definitely, I didn't mention it earlier, but I'm like, yo, that was definitely a hobby, bro. Habits can be hobbies too. And sometimes, not all the time, are hobbies or habits accretive to your life. Maybe in terms of like momentary joy, but the way that I feel, the way Water framed it, the way that I feel when I'm smoking the stogie and having a glass of bourbon or whiskey is distinct and different than how I feel when I'm in nature and walking. And so what I'm seeing for myself is like I'm writing a list. Like I was looking forward to this call because I realized that this is a void in my life, not to be overly critical and judgmental, but like how did I get here, and why have I not checked myself? Why did it take this trip that we were all supposed to go on, that Earth and Water ended up going on, and I backed out of like a week, like 2 weeks before the go, the date. Why is it so okay for me to prioritize myself last? And what's the impact on me in my life as a result of not actually expanding? When I listen to you guys talk about expand, really what I'm hearing is expansion. You're like, Earth could have went on for another 10 minutes talking about this. It's like, yo, you guys do it. Like you have all that time and capacity and desire to like express and explore and pour into yourself. Like I'm not making myself out to be a victim, but I don't even know what that way of being is like. Like I can't even wrap my mind around it. And like I don't want to spend the next half of my life not giving to me. And I don't want to beat myself up about it. Right? I don't want to feel like I'm selfish for being self-interested, because I go back to my roots in my whole life, as far as I can remember, has been about somebody else. From mom's little brother to being a dad at 19, a husband at 21. Like I don't even know what you're talking about. Like I just went out there and I dug up some man. You had a whole day or half a day to just go dig dirt, dig a ditch in the backyard. Like what the heck? What kind of life? And you still manage to pay your bills and finance your needs and desires and investments. Like, man, my life is full, but it is very family centered. And there's 6 people in my family. So, 5 people, they have to get theirs before I get mine. And shoosh, I as a result of me not having hobbies outside of my occupation, right? Because everybody knows that I played pro football. That was a hobby that turned into an occupation. And so I have this mentality, and I swear I'm gonna pass the mic, but this is a lot like Water. You need like this, you teed this up in the perfect timing after the trip, after me quitting, et cetera, and so forth. So I got a lot in me. Forgive me for talking too much, but this is probably one of the more personal shows that we've done to date, and I didn't anticipate this. I'm sure Earth and Water saw it, but this is what I see. Being somebody who actually got to do his hobby for an occupation created an occurrence in my mind that this is how you do it. Like, you have to burn the boats. You have to go all in and like have nothing else going on. So when I played football, I didn't do nothing else. Like, that was it. Eat, sleep, breathe, and you had to be that dedicated in order to make it to the NFL. At least that's how I saw it back then. Now you got these kids, they're brands, they got businesses. LeBron got like, what the heck? Like, this dude's going to be a billionaire while he's playing. The stuff that Jordan and Magic did after they was playing, LeBron is doing that and more while he's playing. Now, granted, he has a team, but the whole world of sports occurs is different. But the number one thing I saw was you got to go all in. Number two, to make it. These are limiting beliefs. You got to go all in to make it. There's some truth to it, but you can expand once you get there. Number two was my occupation, and my hobbies were aligned. And so when my occupation and my hobbies were aligned, I didn't wagwan, Quali, I see you. I felt like I was doing my hobbies. I was just getting paid for it. So why would I venture out to see what else is inside of me that is unexpressed? Number three, I was too busy pouring into others. Now, that's part of my identity. But it legitimately took for this conversation and me backing out of this trip to realize that that's noble. That is part of your essence, but you got to scour who you are. And there's a laundry list of things that I want to get into. And I started writing them down: golf, international travel, global travel, exercise, fitness, and nutrition. Not just as like, oh, you're a former athlete, so you still work out. But no, I want to be like kinesiologist type, sick with the training. And I want to be like nutritionist level knowledge when it comes to what we should be putting in our body to perform optimally from the earth. Like, on more on the Dr. Sebi side than the Western side, right? And just making time and space in my life to devote to those disciplines to expand who I am. I'm so great at the same time. I've been so like I'm in a box, like one dimensional, maybe two dimensional. And there's like 4 or 5 dimensions in me. And I'm just like, man, I'm good over here. And then I just realized I'm not good, guys. I'm not good.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And that's why we're having this show. I think that the I'm not good part is the realest part of what you just said. Because I'm going to do this in the backward order. Moya had a great comment. Moya Martin from YouTube. Fire. You're a resident reader of comments.
Yeah. She's tapped into my frequency and my thought stream. So Moya said it. She says, I definitely understand priority shifting when you are responsible for a family. However, this makes having a hobby that more important in order to keep your sanity and not lose yourself. Whoo-wee. And before that, I just want to pull this to the consciousness in case those of you who don't see the comments on YouTube. She says, hello, elements. Please distinguish.
Hold on. Let's not even go there first. Let's go with what she just. Hey, look, let me leave this one up here right quick because like we're not gonna gloss. That's why I did these out of order because this is really, like I went past her last. We're gonna come back to the previous one that she had or whatever, but I just wanted because this one speaks exactly to what you were to you,
yeah,
and what you were just saying, and I think that like. It's so powerful, that last part, to keep your sanity and not lose yourself. So Wynn just said that business is one of his hobbies. And most adults actually believe that. Like we have drank that up. We got that hook, line, and sinker. So we think that work is a hobby, and next thing you know, all we do is work, work. I mean, I really love my job. No, you don't.
Well, I didn't say that, but
Well, you did. You said work was one of your hobbies, bro.
no.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
You said
business.
business was one of your hobbies. So
Yeah, so I would have to qualify that, like
you
starting.
got to qualify before you say it, dog. You can't just throw it out there because I'm gonna hit you in the head with it.
Yeah, you can't beat me in the head with my own words, but
Always.
so you have to qualify it in the sense that, you know, like work is not a hobby. Like work is not, it's not even a place of happiness. But when you shift to a place where you can actually begin to build things in a sense of an entrepreneur, building things from scratch, like that could be the most fun, one of the funnest things you can ever do. And so that's not the traditional work that everybody does in 9 to 5. When you're in the process of actually building something of substance from scratch, and it's something a part of your passion and your purpose, and it's an expression of who you are, then that's not work.
Okay, so I'll give you that. I 1,000% disagree with what you just said, but we're not gonna go there because we're gonna come back to Moya. We're gonna come back to your comment too. Hopefully, we can get to that later. But what Moya just said is powerful, and it speaks to Fire's. You know what Fire was just actually saying about himself and his experience. But we want to back up to Moya's previous comment. Fire, you wanna hit this one that Moya said?
Yeah. So Moya is asking for us to make a distinction between hobbies from something that we enjoy doing. And I'll just say this. I'm with you, Moya, because to me, they're one and the same. You know, there may be more intention behind the devotion when you call something or you categorize something as a hobby, because there's a lot of things that I enjoy doing that I wouldn't categorize as hobbies, and it is purely based on my level of investment and time and resources and how I frequent or schedule or build that activity or not into my life. And so I think a hobby is something that you enjoy doing. You're intentional about making sure that you get that infusion in your life, no matter the cost or resources required.
Go to the dictionary like you usually do.
I did.
I got it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I was gonna hit him.
Go ahead, Water.
The one that I got that just says an activity, a hobby is an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. Leisure time, pleasure. So, and unfortunately, let me come back to his example so I can speak to that. So, unfortunately, when you're an entrepreneur, you know, bro, I swear there have to be people like this who actually can do it in their leisure for pleasure. There are people, of course there are, but the 99.9% of people, bro.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I agree with that.
So then, like 99%. I'm sorry, bro. I got it. 99.9%. I got to disagree with you, and I can't rock with you on that. Being an entrepreneur, surrounding myself by entrepreneurs, dog. Go show me one that ain't like a billionaire who's just like, hey, I got some money. Y'all go do that. Holler at me in like 6 months. Or if you're an investor and you're just like, hey, you guys, you know, get back to me. Like, I like coming to these meetings. I'll come to that board meeting once a month. That's a whole, you know, for an hour. That's a whole different position than, you know, here I am an entrepreneur. I'm about to build something or whatever. But back to, and we can go into that. I just don't want to turn this into, remember, that could be a whole show. That could be a whole show. Like, I'm willing to take that one. I can title that one. Your business ain't your hobby, dog. That'll be the title of the show. So fire or earth, both like earth and fire, both of you are more dictionary worms than me. You guys want to take a crack at the definition so that we can really distinguish this for conversation's sake?
Yeah, read the definition again.
Well, I mean, you guys can look up one, a better one.
Oh,
I mean, I found one that said an activity done. The one I found says an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure.
Yeah, that was just that's the definition of a hobby.
So I got another one from Webster's. All right.
Okay.
And when you can cash at me, bro. All right, cash at me. At least $20. Anything that's on your heart, I appreciate it. So this one's from Webster. It says a pursuit outside of one's regular occupation, engaged in especially for relaxation. Writing is just a hobby of his. Okay, this is her hobbies include gardening and bird watching. Both you and Earth used so Earth was gardening and you were bird watching. But I take it back, so you don't owe me anything. Maybe I owe you. I saw one's regular occupation was like, oh, I'm about to hook my boy up. I'm sorry, Win.
Bro, what are y'all doing, dog? Like
sorry,
these are the two dudes who don't really, they don't consider themselves having hobbies, and they really are.
I didn't say that, bro. Come on.
They really are, So, but you told us what you did when you were like 12, bro. What do you do?
No. When I was younger, I mean.
Hey, bro, what do you right now, son? We're not.
But like I said, I walk. I enjoy architecture. I enjoy watching little kids. I enjoy watching birds, and enjoying the outdoors. I mean, the unfortunate thing is that is this. After tearing my ACL, I wasn't necessarily as active as I wanted to be, and a lot of people are in that boat. Like something happened in their life, some injury occurred, they got older, and they have some type of excuse that has them resigned in a particular area of their life, right? And so now this conversation is hopefully going to open up something for all of us, including our audience. Mm-hmm. Because what I do know is that whereas I can't necessarily cycle or avidly run like I used to, I could transfer or use that energy, channel that energy elsewhere and create some type of other activity that I might enjoy.
Okay, so to stay on topic, and to define this a little bit, and not let fire get us back off track here. So this actual the New York Times, excuse me, this is not this website. The New York Times says, and this is an excerpt from an article that they have about hobbies. Let's start with some science. A large body of research suggests that how you spend your leisure time matters to your health, and that your hobbies are good for you in many ways. In 2010, a team of researchers from the universities of Kansas, Pittsburgh, and Texas published the results of 4 large studies. They talk about They're saying with men and women with various health problems, such as upper respiratory illness, arthritis, and breast cancer. The researchers developed a scale called the Pittsburgh Enjoyable Activities Test to measure the effect of hobbies and leisure pursuits on overall health. Here's what they found. Better health, better physical health. People who scored higher on the enjoyable activities test had lower body mass index, smaller waists, lower blood pressure, lower stress hormones, and better overall physical function. I'm not going to read more about the better health. More sleep. While you may think that hobbies will take up too much time, fire, your leisure time, or cut into your sleep. The Pittsburgh study showed that people who spent more time on their hobbies actually got better sleep. Lower stress. I'm not going to go into the details of these. Happiness, more friends, improved work performance and many more things. So the New York Times kind of laid the foundation with a kind of like a little article where they, when it got a little bit of data points about it. And, this is useful information for anybody out there who is going through what Win just described, because I do agree with you, Win, that, man, there's always some excuse. Always. And we're probably going to never get to this definition thing, but like, I just believe that there's no difference between, when Moya was asking us to distinguish, like, if you enjoy it, call it what you want to call it. You don't have to call it a hobby. But this is not about something called hobby. And that's why I made sure that we put the interests in the title of this, because this is about what you're interested in. And this is about you getting out of life what you would like to have out of life. If you're interested in something that people think is weird, I mean, unless it's breaking the law, do it. That's what I got, guys. What are you guys hearing from that? What do you think about that study? What do you think about that definition? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with?
I think it's a shame that I'm not more hobbyistic in my hometown, Pittsburgh, in my the school that I went to.
They named a test after them, bro.
You know what I mean? So I got to go do the test. Now I'm just really present right now, brothers. To wow, like how much I've stifled myself and how much there is in me to do and express. Like, there's no limit. And just because I'm not getting paid to do it doesn't mean like, oh, why would you go pay to become a physical a personal trainer? Why would you pay or study and invest time to become a nutritionist? Are you going to be a nutritionist? Are you going to look for paid clients? I'm seeing that it's not necessarily about that. It really is about the expression. And I'm also seeing that by being in the exploration and returning to like a childlike state where anything and everything was possible, anything I wanted to do, I can give it a shot. I'm probably going to stumble upon something that may end up turning into a business venture, where it is this merging of hobbies and occupation or vocation. I just gotta, it's just accepting what is so and being open to the possibilities, man. I'm feeling like a kid right now, bro.
I like that. I can see it happening to you. And this is funny, right? Okay, so let's really get naked here, guys. And I'll actually do this for the audience, because we talk about the elements and how we we get together and stuff like that. And so these guys know they're about to start dying laughing. These guys know that I've always told them, like, every time these guys talk about money with this show, I got a stock answer for these guys. Is that like, yo, like, this is a hobby for me. I've told these guys this time and time again. Every time money comes up, we need to monetize. We need to do this show. We got to get more followers so we can do this show. Like, hey, we got to have some, I'm always like, God, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. And for me, that's why I do this show, because I never see this as a business venture. It just doesn't look that way to me. It just looks like something that when I do, bro, there's nothing else going on out here. Like, it's just I'm like, oh yeah, whoops, I need to go take care of this right quick, after the show is over. But while I'm here, it's like, yo, we're doing the show. Y'all know. Go ahead and tell them. Like, I've used probably some expletives that, like, I don't care. And I've said that in other ways that just probably aren't safe for work. But I've told you guys that time and time, every time we talk about money, every time we talk about monetizing, I've been the one that's like, no, let's not do it. Because to me, it does what Fire just said. It kills the hobby for me, and it kills the doing it for love. And now, we're doing it for money.
But it must be cut off in an hour.
Yes. Just like I have to, just like it does have to be cut off, just like I have to actually fly back from my snowboarding trip.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I would be like, yo, let me stay out there. However, always when I was a kid, mom told me I had to come home. I had to go to sleep. had to go back to school the next day or whatever.
Mm.
Lights
Wow.
out.
Bro, you're onto something because you know, being a collegiate athlete on scholarship who couldn't work, and you know, outside of the per diem or whatever that we got when we traveled, you don't get paid. Well, at least back then, you didn't get paid to play college football. I was 23 when I made it to the league. I was 7 or 8 when I created it as a possibility. I remember crying when I got signed. I remember the night I got signed, like, I had to pull over. I was bawling because my dream came true. I remember going to practice on Murphy Canyon Road. Like, we're in a canyon. So picture this palm trees, there's mountains. It's San Diego where it's like 77 degrees all year round. It is absolutely picturesque. And I remember thinking to myself, because we had to be on the field by like 7 o'clock or something like that. I remember thinking to myself, man, what's next? You know, it's like the paycheck changed the dynamics of how the game occurred for me and what I was doing and why I was doing it. It all changed. And you know, sometimes people are, I don't know if you would call it lucky or fortunate, or sometimes people turn a hobby into something that is monetized or monetizable. But I know for me that in my experience in doing it, it definitely took it out of the hobby bucket. And when it took it out of the hobby bucket, it's taken like 20 years for it to be back in that bucket, right? Like I've been removed from the game as a player for like 15 years. So now I'm like, okay, it could be a hobby. But like I went to my first football. I don't go to games. Like I didn't do any of that. Now I'm ready to like let myself be a fan. Give myself permission to be a fan. Because I held on to what didn't happen as a player, what I didn't accomplish as a player. Now I can just enjoy it for my leisure. Yeah, I think you're onto something, man. I don't know.
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking, and fortunately, I was able to make my childhood hobby a career. Because I started developing software when I was 10. And for me, it was just something that I did for fun. It was just fun. I had no clue at 10 that it could even be a career. And then when I started getting paid for it, I was like, people gonna pay me to do this? Like I was totally blown away that, someone would actually pay me to develop software, because it was just something that was a hobby. It was very easy to do. And I didn't get in a space where it didn't become a hobby. For me, it was always a hobby. And that's what had me, like, when I would go out and get clients, I would throw a price out. Sometimes it was outlandish. I didn't care, because it wasn't like I was doing it for survival. It's something I enjoy doing. And most of my clients didn't know I actually would have done it free. That's how much I enjoy doing it. And so I never viewed it as at any point as anything other than like a hobby.
Mm.
And so the impact it had on me was I became a very fierce negotiator, because I became clear that, man, I've been doing this since I was 10. I can do this in my sleep. This is easy for me. So it would easily allow me to put a value on, like a monetary value, on some skill set that I picked up from 10 years old. And so I would just negotiate and be like, nope, this is what I want. And I wouldn't budge at all. And, most of the time the client would acquiesce to whatever I demanded, because, I would just go in there with such, I'll be honest with you, I was I was, arrogant and cocky when I went into interviews. I was like, this is this, whatever I would say. And so it turned me into that kind of person, but I still never viewed it as something other than a hobby. Even when I moved from software development over to the data side began to occur more like a job, because it's not something I love to do. I didn't have a passion for it. It just paid a heck of a lot more money. So that's the only reason I did it. But in regards to developing software, I mean, I always viewed it as a hobby. I still do to this day. So yeah. And so it just, what you were saying, Fire, just brought me present to that.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that, because it just taught me that you could be inside of a hobby and be getting paid for it and still not change your occurrence. Like that, it's not like you get bullied into changing your occurrence. That's a conscious or unconscious choice.
Right.
So I could stumble upon one of these things, realize I can make a crap ton of money, but the thing can still occur to me as a hobby.
Yeah.
Just choose, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the stuff I used to do. I viewed it as so much of a hobby. Like I'll be on a contract and I'll just get up and walk out and just leave for the day. Wouldn't just get up and leave, and then come back the next day. And I always met my. Oh, y'all ready for this word? Y'all ready for this? My deliverables.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
But it still occurred to me as a hobby, and what it did is and I guess my way of being around it was so relaxed and so leisure, like this is nothing. Other consultants on projects, they would ask me to do things. Oh, you'll go talk and see if we can like not travel for the holidays. And I'd be like, why should we have to travel? That would be my attitude. And I would go in and talk to the CEO or CFO, whomever was over the project, and I would say, "Hey, holidays coming up." It wouldn't even be an ask. Like, holidays are coming up, travel's going to be bad. I need to be able to work from home. And they would always say, "Sure, okay." And so I'll say, "Well," and everybody else wants to know. I'll get it clear for myself first, and then I say, "Well, the other team members, they want to know if they can do the same thing." But yeah. Because it never occurred to me that serious. It's software development, So I'm present to how it had that whole world occur to me, and I never took it seriously. Just never did. It's just a hobby, and it worked. So yeah.
Nice. So what I'm hearing is that what?
I've seen that question. Huh?
No, I just saw a comment. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the comment. I see that too. We might have to skip that one, Moya. Like, yeah, I had to skip that one, Moya. What I'm hearing though is I'm hearing that you can actually have the monetization. Most people just can't keep their occurrence as hobby. And that's a whole thing. We need to have a money show, because that's a whole thing within itself, is that money just does that to people, including myself. So as soon as we make this show about money, then it'll be different for me. And I think that people's occurrences can dictate to them or dictate for them how they actually pursue things in life or whatnot. So I like that example, Earth, because that just, to me, I'm an all or nothing person. It's either I'm in or I'm out. So it's either a hobby or it's work. Like if it's work, then oh yeah, it's business, man. So nah, there's no playing around or whatever. Hobby, man, there's no serious, dude. Why are you so serious, man? And like I can't really merge those two, because just in my mind, that's not how it works. Fire, I know you can relate to that. You're at the job, not just can't do it. You gotta be all in at work.
Yeah, it is. Man, I'm present to the fact that the real prison is up here.
Always.
The real, it's not circumstantial. It's not predicated upon the conditions of the field, even if you're in bondage or captivity. Ask our ancestors. That's how they were able to get through. Wow. And I'm taking my power back. I'm giving myself permission to express what it is that I want to do. because I said so, because I want to. Well, why you don't? Because I want to. Like everything doesn't have to have an ROI that's monetary. Like that ROI could be a psychic reward. It could be a feeling. It could be just fun, play, and ease is the compensation. My mind is so linear, such an analytical Virgo. It's like if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm like, how could we get on Patreon? How could we get to critical? Not as much as win, but like that, I'm not gonna keep doing this every week and uninterrupted for free. Hobby? I got 4 kids, man. I don't got time for no hobbies. Limiting beliefs, man.
Oh, that is literally his real response. That is this guy's real response, and I have to hear that every week. Like, yeah,
guys,
yeah.
you know, I just thought about something. It literally just occurred to me that ARC started out as a hobby.
Wow.
That's how it started.
Was it a hobby or was it a curiosity?
Hobby.
Really?
And now you have deliverables. Win is wrong again because that's why Win perked up. Win was like, "Oh man, see, there's an example." Nah, this guy.
No. I wasn't going.
Let me say this. The actual, like the teaching part was a hobby when it started out.
And now you have deliverables.
Getting into it initially, but yeah, exactly. Now I have deliverables. It was this something I did. It wasn't even like a side thing. It was just something I did. Because
look, let's keep it real on this show, guys. So exactly what Earth is talking about. If this show becomes about money, we're gonna have deliverables. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen.
And you know how I am about deliverables.
He gone.
Oh man.
Maybe the one to quit the show is him, Water. Let's talk about money.
Okay, so let's keep being transparent with everyone. So listen, so every time there's a riff, you know, like elements behind the scenes, sometimes we go through little arguments. We're not so conscious that we're above arguing with each other. And so sometimes we have little arguments or whatever. And so, these guys always try to say that I'm the one that's gonna quit the elements and ruin the show.
It's logical because he's the one least attached.
Least attached. They're because you know I'm always like, guys, I don't care, you know, like, hey, it's just a hobby to me. And they're like, like Fire says, like, man, we gotta have Patreon. You know, and he already just said wins more, so I can go and outwin. So Win's like, no, guys, listen, I've researched it, and there's 12 monetization methods, and you know, like, here we do this. So these guys are having all these conversations. And Earth and I are just like, dude, so okay, great, do it, you know, whatever. But so they always try to make it out that, you know, like, oh yeah, Water, he's gonna be the first one to quit. You know, it's gonna be ruined. And I think that, you know, that literally is a good. I'm glad to hear that ARC started out. For those who don't know, that's Earth's business, if you will. That's what it is. So it started out as a hobby. That's beautiful, man. And I remember that. Yeah. I think that started out as the trips with Malidoma, right?
It was after that. Yeah, well, that's the genesis of, but ARC wasn't created then, but
okay.
That's like around the genesis of everything was like trips with him. And then someone actually called and said, you should, I was having a conversation with someone, and they were like, you should teach people this stuff. I was like, people interested in this? It was like, yeah. So I just kind of put a feeler out there, called 10 people I knew, and was like, hey, you interested in this, taking a course on learning ancestral communication and connection? It's like, sure, yeah. And so I was like, all right. And I started on a Saturday. And I just enjoyed doing it. And then it just continued to grow and grow.
And if we ever did maybe in a couple of months, 6 months or something, I'll do a follow up to this because I want to say how to have your hobby never turn into a
Yes,
business.
sir. Yeah.
The
Perspective.
antithesis, yeah, the antithesis to what Wynn was saying is how to have your hobby never turn into a business because it and so when we say deliverables, fire, give them what deliverables, give them what deliverables are, man. It's a fire, it's a fireism.
Deliver. So in the domain of execution, it's simply having a vision, enrolling others in that vision, and then having a critical path to achieving, critical milestones. And that path is given by tasks. They're action items. And an action item has a what, it has a who, and it has a by when. And so that's what we call when we talk about deliverables, is like somebody, okay, what are we doing? Who's doing it? Who owns it? And when does it due? And so when you in the world of like building a team and multiple people doing different things, having their own unique roles and responsibilities on top of their day jobs and families and hobbies and what have you, it becomes critical. And so so deliverables, when we say it, even when I say it, there's a great deal of, there's a little bit of angst and stress about it, because it's like there's something that needs to be done that's not done. I'm gonna get shamed if I don't show up to the call and I don't have my homework done. Then I'm the guy holding us back from moving forward because I didn't do my piece. And so we call them deliverables because it, and when we get in deliverable mode, we're all this laughter and sniggling and giggling that we do sometimes, like especially water. Especially water, when we get in deliverable. Once water finally succumbs to deliverable mode, he's like he is like a robot.
Yeah.
There's no human. There's no human there.
I'm cursing everybody out. Like, yo, we have deliverables, guys, and even when you see fire, like rewind it. As soon as I asked him, hey, describe deliverables, he's like, yeah, so deliverables, they're like rewind it and check that out. My man totally turned into a different person.
But you know what's interesting is that when you were organizing the trip, you acted like there was some deliverables, bro. Like
that's what I just said.
Heaviness.
Of course. However, remember, there was a point when I actually released that. And I think this is this is conscious masculinity in action. Okay. I was super serious about this trip. And look at my face now that I'm talking about this. I was like, yo, man, what is wrong with you guys? Like, we had a room and the room was cheaper and nobody was responding. And I'm trying to get a hold of these guys. And then the lady said someone else books the room, and then we have this other thing, and and then there was a point where I said, okay, well, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I looked in the mirror and just said, dude, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you're going on a trip to go snowboard, man. Like, we'll just get what it is, man. And then Earth is like, so we finally get on the same page, and then Earth is like, hey, man, like, because we both live in Atlanta. So he's like, yeah, man, like, like, I'll get your plane ticket. You'll be my companion. And if they get upgraded, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just give you the money. So this guy doesn't book the trip. So the plane tickets go from like $300 to $600. And I was like, man, these guys. These guys.
Tuesdays, what I tell you.
Oh my God, these guys. We still ended up paying over 100, 100 over what it could have been. But, like, it was a point where but Wynn is right. I really, really was super serious about that trip for a while. And then I got to a point where I just let it go. And even Fire said that he told us, no, I actually had to ask Fire. I don't know if you remember that. I had to ask you, bro. Like, yo, Fire. I was like, hey, bro, I was like, yo, man, we're leaving in 2 weeks. You haven't got a plane ticket, man. Like, what's up? And then he was like, oh, guys, yeah, I'm not going. But at that point, I like I was like, hey man, well, we already agreed you were gonna pay for your stuff whether you come or not.
I was like, I'm not going to experience the fun and the joy, but I am about to part ways with these couple $100 because I said I was going to, pay my part. But what Water did not tell me was that he secured a replacement, which reduced my portion significantly, like $400. So saved me $400, ridiculed me. Yeah, I appreciate you. But more importantly, this breakthrough occurred, and now I'm thinking about my New Year's resolution as we wrap up the show. I'm thinking about how every year I would think about more, better, bigger. I would think about survival, obviously making more money, et cetera, so forth. What I didn't do that I'm doing now, starting today, is asking myself, who do you want to be? Not like what do you want to accomplish in order to get somewhere, but what's in you that's unexpressed? Because some of you believe in reincarnation. I do. But I know I got one life in this life. I got one life in this body, one life with this family. One life is my government name. It's fire. I got one life is fire, right? And so now I'm thinking I started a list, man. I got a lot of work. I got a lot of work to do. And I actually feel like by not being intentional in the pursuit of hobbies, you actually, well, for me, let me just say, I'm gonna speak first person. I'm seeing the discontentment that I feel. Now, if those of you who know me know that I accomplished a lot of dope stuff, right? I make good money, really good money. But when you stifle yourself or you hold yourself back from your full self-expression, there is dis-ease and discontentment, regardless as to what you got in your bank account, regardless as to what you do 9 to 5, regardless as to how beautiful your family is or how fit you are. It's there's no destination. It's an endless expansion and flowering, man. And I just want to thank, I ain't see this coming, fellas. Like, I just want to thank you, Water, for being unrelenting in this conversation and wanting what you experience, wanting us to have what you experience when you go snowboard. It's like that joy, that peace, that bliss, that nirvana. You wanted that for us. You didn't just like, you could have just went on the trip by yourself, never said anything like you've been doing. You've been on like 8, 9, 10 trips in the last 60 days.
Correct.
So you didn't have to enroll us into it. And even though I didn't go, I got what I was supposed to get, my brother. So I like, from the bottom of my heart, I've known you for like 12, 13 years. This is the best thing you've ever done for me. I'm dead serious, yo. Like, this is the best thing you've ever done for me, bro. In 12 years, man. I mean that. Gosh, it's like I feel like I can fly now. I gotta start attacking my list. So when we have our call on Sundays, you guys can anticipate me to be activating around the expression of these hobbies. And I'm saying this publicly on our show because I want y'all to hold me accountable. Like, yo, Fire, what you dabbling with this month or next week? Okay, so when is that going to be done? Hey, don't make it all deliverable-y, but just let's keep the conversation going around this expansion because there's so much left to do, man. So much unexpressed, bro.
So then fire. Let's actually make this real. So 6 months from now, we're going to have another show, right? We're going to have a 6-month update. All 4 of us are going to go around the horn here, and we're going to talk about one action.
Which one?
It doesn't have to be a hobby. It could be something else, but one action. Or I take that back. It has to be something you're interested in that you are taking no action around right now.
Okay.
And in 6 months, we're gonna just come back and we're gonna have it like I'll host the show and we'll have the follow up to the hobby show or whatever, and everyone get uncomfortable. So I can set it off. Fire, if you don't have one, we should get Whit to set it off. I have one.
Tantric massage.
you're gonna actually give those. You're gonna start giving. You're gonna be a tantric masseuse.
Certified.
Okay.
I want to give Courtney those massages like once a week. I'm gonna get a table and everything. Fold her up and everything.
All right. So that's a big
All
commitment.
right.
That's a big
So-
commitment.
So the answer to Moya is yes.
Yeah. Full circle, bro. Full circle. Well done. Yeah, yeah. That's one.
Okay. Got it. So Fire, his is going to be tantric massage. He's going to at least have a table. You need some classes for that, or are you just gonna Google that and YouTube that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get certified.
Wow.
Yeah.
Certification. All right. We want to see the certificate in 6 months. We want to see that certificate and a table.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to be on the table. You know,
Right.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go. Man, y'all don't get this. I'm gonna throw my hat over the fence. I will have mountain bike raced within 6 months. It may seem simple. However, to prep for a race, to get in condition to race, is totally different than just going out to a trail riding. So that means that there's a whole nother level that I have to take myself to that I'm not executing right now. So I'm not executing the level of competitor in racing. So 6 months race.
Is that new for you though?
I haven't done it in a long time.
That's
And
what I
for
thought.
me to get to the level of competing, I've done it before. It takes something. That means road cycling. I have to put in about 150 miles per week of road cycling. That is the minimum to be competitive. And it doesn't include the number of miles just on the trail itself. So it takes something to get there.
All right. So I'll go. So then we're going there, Earth. So then I will 6 months. I will commit to playing in 2 chess tournaments. I'm gonna have to travel to do this because the Atlanta Center got shut down. But I have to train to do that. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna commit to 4 wins out of 5 in 2 tournaments. And if not, then I have to do 2 more. Which, let me just preface that by saying that I played in 1 tournament in my life, like a year and a half ago, and got smoked. I got caught 2 losses. I got 2 wins and had a draw. So 4 wins is way above. So I actually have to get in there and get my training back on, like you, Earth. Except for I will be going mano to mano with 13-year-olds who just put the smack down on you, bro. They're like, go sit down somewhere, old man. Go sit down, old man, before you get hurt. All right, so two tournaments, 4 wins a pop. That means that I really have to, like, you think you have to do some work, Earth. I have to get about it for real. And I'll probably have to travel unless the Atlanta Center opens back up. And when I say tournaments, let me preface that by saying 90-minute rounds. So that means I get 90 minutes, they get 90 minutes per game. So that's 2-day tournament. That's all day on the weekend, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. When?
I have no idea, but I guess what I'll go with is I'll get more sophisticated with photography and video editing. That's all I can think of right now.
Are you guys gonna let him get away with that?
No, I was going to ask him what does more sophisticated mean?
Like I don't even know Like the only thing I do right now is take pictures with my phone. Like I have a professional camera and take some real pictures, and I'll actually start doing some video editing and making our content more fancy.
Are you guys gonna let him get away with this? Look, the comments, people are like, no. What, like
what you guys want? Some outdoor stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Mine's not outdoors. Mine's completely indoors.
I mean,
ours is indoors.
Now, if you said that you would be, photographing models, and that's a different.
Hey, everybody look at the screen if you are watching this video right now. Hey, everybody in the comments, blow him up. I'm putting your comment on the screen until you come.
Yo, I was getting
people are using my words against me.
It's not true. When get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. And at the expense of making it too corporate, I was going like when you said what you said, it was so vague. I was like, that goal's not smart.
Why is it a goal? It's supposed to be a hobby. You guys are putting heaviness to it.
No. It's not. I don't think it's heaviness. I mean, because for me, I wasn't clear about what you were actually up to. Like, what did that look like? I'm still not entirely clear.
This is perfect. Everybody gets to see. This is what we deal with Win. So Win, be you, bro. Be you. Like I'm sitting back now. Like you see me, I'm sitting back.
Hey, I don't know what to say right now. So
you gonna shoot 1,000 birds?
Nah,
but you can't.
I don't only take pictures of like rare scenes, like stuff like that.
And are you gonna submit it to something, or you just like I'm not? And I'm serious. I'm not clear about.
I'm gonna put like nice stuff on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, our Twitter page. All that stuff is gonna get more fancy. That's all I can say.
This is what we have to deal with this guy.
I get it. I got it. Right. He's gonna.
This guy's the Vegas.
He's gonna take rare stock photos. Okay. This is what I got. I got it. He's gonna take rare stock photos and then put wise, conscious, masculine quotes on top of it, and he's gonna submit them to the group.
So no. He's gonna put clickbait.
Wow.
Yeah, when we not going.
Hey, you know what? Like we're done with him. Like if that's what you want to do, bro, then you.
Hey, I might do something else. I just don't know at this moment. That's all I'm saying. That's that's the best I can come up with right now,
bro. Like
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I'm gonna go to the Caribbean and become Jacques Cousteau and go scuba diving every day. I'm not gonna lie to you, huh?
It's your life. Nobody's. Yeah, we're getting something for our lives out of this.
Exactly.
Right? Like so, if you want to get out of your life, that you continue to get to be vague, then bro.
Well, hold on. Talk is cheap, right? You got to really do some damn things, right? So I'm not saying that I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just saying at this particular moment, that's all I got. Now I might come up with something else, a couple of days from now, a week from now, whatever. I just don't know.
Oh man! As I said, the comments, we're just gonna keep them raining through the video. We'll keep it raining. Oh my God! Here we go. Moya. Thank you, Moya. Thank you. Oh, go ahead. Fire. Go ahead and read this.
Win. How about traveling and taking photos?
What's the difference? What traveling being the key word?
Now you see, Moya. That's what we have to deal with.
Well, I'm sure by traveling you will see things that you don't see in Chicago.
Hold on, Moya. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your hobby and take photos. How about that?
Resistance. The resistance is heavy in here.
Wow.
Nah, Win is not going to cave. He's definitely not. We know Win well enough to know that You're right, Water. You should just wrap the show up. And we'll
Wrap it up, bro. We're done. That's what I said. We're done with him, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
You guys know I stand tall on what I say.
in this conversation,
What you say, fire 10 toes down.
so that's all Wind has right there. That's all he's got. And I think they said it best in the seminar we did together. They said it's all about the participation. That's what you get out of it.
Right.
It's participate. So for everybody looking, when you're resistant to things, right? When you're resistant to things, all you get is more resistance. And that's really what I was saying that I realized when Wynn brought up about me being super serious about our trip, is that I stopped being resistant, and the trip came together and it was beautiful. But had I remained resistant, we probably would have never gone, because I would have been like, you guys are doing it all wrong. Doing it all wrong. All right. So who's up next on the show? We've done enough. The show is wrapped. Who's next?
Wind.
I am. But do you guys have any parting comments though?
Man, our comments were trying to actually get you to participate with us, but
Here
I
we
think
go.
that
I'm waiting for this. This is gonna be good.
What's that?
No, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm waiting for you. This is gonna be good.
So nobody has any parting comments or what? Well, that's it.
I mean, if you, we'll take 10 seconds, Win, and while you prepare your speech for your show next week, we'll give you 30 seconds.
There's no speech.
I know. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
always.
Just for me, and whoever finds, look, when we share, we certainly appreciate feedback. We certainly appreciate other people's perspectives, but don't miss the opportunity to put yourself in the shoes of the one who's sharing, and find yourself inside of their sharing to see where there's an opportunity for you to expand or grow, and maybe reframe the way you look at some things. So hopefully somebody got something out of me being focused on giving and the pursuit of providence, and really casting aside what my interests and desires are, so much so that it's taken a while for me to dig them back up. Like I didn't even know what they were. Right. I just died to myself. And I said to myself, and these guys can tell you that my dream was to make it to NFL. Now my dream is to make sure everybody in my household realizes their dreams. And so I said, I got mine. Now it's time for y'all to get y'all's. And I died at 27, 28 years old. Got a whole life ahead of me, and they can still get theirs, and I can continue to get mine in perpetuity, whatever that looks like. I get to design it. So hopefully that was a blessing to somebody, and we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Tell a friend to tell a friend, hit the bell, subscribe, on all platforms. That's what I got.
That was way more than 10 seconds.
Well,
Yeah,
help it went up.
monologue.
Earth. Straight soliloquy. But go ahead.
No, mine's gonna be short. So I want you all. So one of the things that I hope you all picked up on, and that is, the quote or the saying, "Misery loves company." Whenever people say that to me, I say, "Happiness also loves company." And Water has been the epitome of happiness, excitement. What he experiences, he wants us to experience that, and so it works both ways. And I want you all to join a challenge with us. 6 months. Pick something today. Don't be vague and blowing in the wind. Don't do that one. Pick something today. And in 6 months, when we have our follow-up show, let's talk about it. See what you got.
I love it. I'm going to one-up Earth on that one and say, listen, we're going to actually post a 6 months hobby challenge, hashtag 6 month hobby challenge, and see if we can actually get that to catch some steam, guys. We're going to actually there's going to be 3 of us, okay, that are going to participate in. 3 of the elements are going to participate in that. One of the elements is going to be in the stands, and the other 3 are going to be on the court, okay. And we're going to try to see if we can get the hashtag 6 month hobby challenge. To even if it's just us three, we're gonna actually post about it. We're gonna post about what we're doing, and we're gonna see if any of the elementals want to join in on that with us. Whether you want to basically post on our Facebook group, whether you want to just post on our Facebook page, or you want to just hit us in the comments as we do other shows saying that, hey, I'm doing that 6-month challenge. You can post in the comments on the YouTube video in the comments section of that as well, so that we can all do this together. Because look, we already have our call. This is your call. So we're doing this so all of you can actually experience what we experience together when we have our private call. When?
What I'd say is that, hobbies, happiness and fun is integral to all of our health and well-being. It impedes us from, like we were talking about last week, our breaking points. And I'll just leave you guys with that. So go out and find something happy to do and enjoy yourself. Next week,
we have, hold on, before you get there, we have our first participant out of the elementals. Fire, you want to read this one off?
So Deborah Naomi Thomas, she said, okay, Earth, I'll take that on. I'm going to do ballroom dancing.
Nice.
Ooh, okay. Dancing.
Nice. That's going to be nice.
So Deborah, we're going to PM you in 6 months and be like, hey, how's ballroom dancing coming along?
Right, your name down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're gonna PM you, be like, hey, so come on, come back to that show. We'll have it in 6 months.
We want to see your toes bloody.
Dance with the stars. Dance with the stars. Okay, Wayne, I did not mean to interrupt you, bro. Next week.
So next week we're gonna have some special guests and we're gonna connect the dots. We're gonna be speaking with some of our elders. And that's all I'm gonna say for right now. Join us next week. Thanks for rocking with the elements. Peace, everybody.
Next week.
Wow, I was actually surprised. Y'all know I was surprised. It wasn't let you know next week.